Bags below, store what you want down there. For the duration of the trip, it'll keep things safe from bouncing around. Gonna hit some rough road on the trails out here. You might. Watch brings toes on the right-hand side. Doors are closing up. As soon as everyone's seated, we get the word to go. We are heading down. That's the word to go. All right, as we say in Harambe Twente, that one means let's go. Wave goodbye. We'll be back in about 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Shabo, everybody, and welcome to Kilimanjaro Safaris. My name is Steve. I'll be your safari driver for your expedition deep into the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. A few things as we start out to the reserve. If you plan on taking any photos or video of safari, that's fine. Take all you want. Just remember, hold on to your cameras tight. The reserve does not allow us to stop the vehicle to be able to retrieve anything that falls out. Also, if your camera has the ability, I recommend right now, think about setting up some sort of an action or a sports or a motion mode, because sometimes animals are going to pass by very quickly, going right through the bushes. Try and have your camera ready at all times. We're heading into the reserve right about now, and we're going to get in touch with our Warden Patrol as we head on in here. Hang on. Airborne Patrol, Simba 1 calling. Do you read me? Over. Hey, Jumbo Wilson, we just entered Little Aturi Forest to start a 2-week trip.
Simba 1. Keep your eyes open and drive carefully. You should see lots of animals.
All right, Wilson, thanks so much. Here we are inside. We're checking out an okapi off to the right there. Now, believe it or not, the okapi, zebra-like striping on their legs and hind quarter, but not really a member of the zebra family at all. They're a member of the giraffe family. And they're extremely shy. They were only discovered by the Western world in 1901. Until then, they were only thought to be a myth. Now we're heading down to a large watering hole over to the left here. Watering holes, very, very important to the life cycles of the animals. And this one on occasion has attracted some black rhinos. If you're very lucky, maybe spot some around here. There's one laying down on the hill about halfway up there.
Oh, wow.
The black rhinos, they've been hit extremely hard by poaching. Only about 4,200 left in Africa today. They have 1-inch thick skin, very tough, and they can repel any carnivore known except for man. Man is actually considered to be their greatest enemy. We'll keep watching for more, though. We're going to watch through the rest of the woods up here. Tell you more about the reserve you're traveling in here, of course, the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. This was established way back in 1971 for the protection of local wildlife, and over the years, animals have become used to us bringing tour groups in. Here comes another black rhino, looks like. And that's good. We can get some good photos sometimes. Let's move up here past the tree here. But it can make them vulnerable to poachers and illegal hunters. And that's why we have that Warden Patrol, and I might get in touch with that Warden Patrol again sometime during our 2-week trip. I'm looking way up ahead of us here. Looks like I'm catching a glimpse of a saddle build store. A little bit further up there, it's a large black and white bird. We're going to have to move up into the clearing through there. Yeah, see over by the trees here. Tallest stork in Africa, fully grown, stands around 5 feet tall, gets the name from the yellow and orange mark it has on the bill. It looks like a saddle. Greater kudu. A little further back, light brown striped antelopes. Look carefully, there's more than one up there. Greater kudu, second largest antelope in Africa, a little bit smaller than a Patterson Zealand. And a full-grown male greater kudu, and weighs somewhere close to 750 pounds. And now you're starting to see how coloring and striping on animals helps them blend into the surroundings. Now we're going to head out of Little Aturi Forest, and we'll go see what's happening this afternoon. I'm thinking down by Safi River. Safi River is sometimes a good place for spotting Nile hippopotamus. I'm going to check the water of the river over here. Where we're really going is down this trail to the left. The deep water is just past the trees out here. We can look straight down into the river itself. Now keep in mind about hippos, they're going to spend their time mostly in water, otherwise their bodies overheat very, very quickly. Yep, to the left here, look around the island. Newborn hippo weighs about 85 pounds, and a full-grown male can tilt the scales pretty close to around 5,000 pounds. I think we're going to move up between the islands up there. Looks like a little bit better view just down in the water up here. Hold on. Pink-backed pelicans out here, too. They're the large pelicans nesting on the island. Pink-backed pelicans, whole flock, able to gather fish in the shallow waters. They feed at the same time. Now watch the hippos here. Now, as you're watching hippos, you might see a few of them moving now underwater. People have a tendency to think hippos swim underwater. They do swim, but not quite in the way that we know it. It's more like walking or gliding across the river bottom. And a full-grown hippo holds its breath underwater somewhere around 8 minutes at a time. bridge here. You're going to take this one nice and easy. Make sure you stay seated. Hold on. Some of the bridges have seen a lot better days around here. Okay, it's not that bad, but we're not going to spend a lot of time on this bridge either, so hold on. Nice and easy. Front tire's good. Need those back tires. There we go. As I said, some of the bridges kind of old out here. You want to take them nice and easy each and every time.
Number one, come in.
Yeah, it's number one. Go ahead, Wilson.
Just wanted to let you know that my transport has seen a lot of elephant activities in the Red Lake. Definitely want to check out that area.
All right, Wilson, thanks for the heads up. We'll head toward the clay pits as soon as we can. We just left one ecosystem. We're going to start in a completely different one. But as we do, check out the large tree to the right there. That's a baobab tree. Going to see that's a common sight on the plains of Africa. Now, baobab trees are only going to get leaves about 3 months out of the year. The rest of the year, they look just like that. And the reason that they swell up to that size, their trunks hold water. Elephants puncture those open with their tusks in the event that they need fresh drinking water. One of my favorite views here, the savanna down below. The savanna, part of the vast Serengeti grassland system. Now, the Serengeti grassland system, this is going to stretch on out here for hundreds and hundreds of miles across Africa. It sort of acts just like a migratory superhighway for animals like zebra and wildebeest, while antelope, lion, and elephant, they live out here year-round. All part of the wild Africa we're working very hard to save. Now look straight out across first. You're going to start to notice the long horns out there. Those belong to Ankole cattle. You can see them even from here. We're going to swing all the way around, try and get a better look. Looks like some white-bearded wildebeest out there too. We're going to come all the way around there. Now, if you're starting to look around the savanna down here, you're probably starting to spot there's some tall cones of earth. They're all around if you look carefully. Large grouping out in the meadow to the left there. And they're actually up ahead of us all around the trail, too. A lot of people think they're rocks when they see them. They're not rocks out here. These are all termite mounds. Now, termite mounds, hard as concrete. Elephants use them like a scratching post. And when they wear them down, antelopes are able to use them as a lookout point to watch for lions or other predators hiding in very tall grass. Let's start to the right there. There's some white-bearded wildebeest right next to us here. Now, the white-bearded wildebeest, more commonly known as the gnu. That's the African word that describes the grunting sound they make. About 1.5 million white-bearded wildebeest roam the grasslands of eastern Africa, the largest migrating herd of animal that's left on the planet today. And you're checking out those horns on those Ankole cattle. They're also known as Watusi cattle. They're named from the tribe that domesticated them, the Watusi tribe. The horns on the Ankole cattle, they'll grow about 5 or 6 feet in length apiece, with a circumference at the base of about 22 inches. Now, check up above to the left here around the tree line, and you see a reticulated giraffe up ahead of us here. Watch towards the palm trees on top of the hill. Now, we're going to come around there. We're going to try and get a bit closer. Some Patterson's eland up ahead of us here, too. We're going to circle all the way through. Now, the conditions you're looking at here on the savanna, they've all been created by wildlife that does live here. Elephants are bulldozers. They knock over trees to eat them. That allows grasses to spread. And giraffe, they're like pruning shear. They eat the leaves from the undersides of trees. That lets sunlight pass through. Zebra, the large antelopes eat tall grass. That lets new shoots grow. And nibblers like warthogs and gazelles, they clean up the edges. So in a balanced natural system, there's just enough food for everybody here. Let's check out that reticulated giraffe over to the left here. Now, the reticulated giraffe, of course, the tallest mammal. Newborn baby, going to stand about 6 feet tall. Adult male around 20 feet high. Take the name from the Latin word reticulata, which means net. Makes reference to the net pattern all across the coat. That helps hide giraffes in the tree lines. From a great distance, they're not that easy to spot. Also spotting these Patterson's eland right next to us here, these large tan antelope. Look at the bushes in here, too. They're actually one of the largest antelopes in Africa. A full-grown male can stand about 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weighs somewhere very close to 2,000 pounds. Interesting spiral horns, too. Very unusual in nature. No two alike. Sometimes not even on the same Patterson's eland. Another reticulated giraffe, a little bit further out ahead of us here. Now watch carefully through the tree line. There is another reticulated giraffe still further out. And again, it's a good example how the net-like pattern on the reticulated giraffes help them hide right in the surroundings. Here's a good look again to the left. Take a look through the gully there. And still further in, out of the distance, off in the shade of the trees out there. Let's try and get a look at that one that's a little bit further out.
Zimmerman, this is Wilson. What is your location? Over.
I'm going to head for Monkey Point, Wilson. What's up?
Keep your eyes open for me. We picked up a baby elephant that was wandering off on its own. We can't find the mother. Maybe in the reserve.
All right, Wilson, we're keeping our eyes open for you. Well, we're spotting our first elephant on the edge of elephant country here. We'll pull up here and check that out. I'm looking for mandrills around Monkey Point through here, and I think I've actually spotted some if you watch carefully. Look in front to the left there, in the trees. Mandrills, largest monkeys in Africa. Full-grown male can weigh about 100 pounds. Yeah, quite a few in there too, but obviously this is the start of elephant country coming up here, so hopefully we'll be able to catch up to the rest of that elephant herd. Now, there's that red clay pit. It's way up to the right there. That's where Wilson said he saw that herd going. That's where we're going to. Hold on. Also going to try and get a little something on the radio on the way out there. Sometimes we get good reception on this end of the reserve. Oh, can you see that? So I think Wilson spotted the herd going across to the other side of the red clay pits by now. There's large watering holes over that way, so we'll head over that way too. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up. Now, currently, the Harambe Wildlife Reserve is involved in a scientific study with the elephants that are here, and vocalization and communication, their theory being, if we learn how elephants communicate, and if we understand just a little bit of it, we just might be better able to help out their needs. Grand zebra, see way out in the distance there? Now we're going to try and catch up with them in front of us out here again if we can, a little bit further out. Now, no two zebra stripes alike. They can be told apart, just like a human's fingerprints. Beneath their black and white striping, zebras are black. You can tell that by looking at their black noses. You can tell here in the clay pits, elephants came through. Take a look around. You see the clues. Lots of tusk marks here, lots of footprints. Good indication they came by. Elephants eat this clay. It gives them nutrients. Their diet of leaves and grass does not. There we go. Out ahead of us here. Take a look right out of the clay pit. Looks like they might be doubling back, heading back in too. Now, some of the elephants you spot out here on the plains, you're going to notice maybe a little bit of grass or dirt or mud all across their backs. Elephants spray grass and dirt and mud all over their bodies to protect their skin from getting sunburned. Their skin actually very, very sensitive to the sun.
Departure recheck, here's departure 1, but once you pull up there, so we're going to be waiting for those as it is.
Looks like down by the watering hole out there too. Let's get a little bit closer. Yeah, I think I saw it down by the watering hole, a little bit further up by the baobab tree. There are a few more of these ancient baobab trees all around us out here. Baobab tree lived to be about 2,000 years old. Locals of the village say the ones you're looking at out here, all about 1,500 years old with the size of them. Here we go. Can you see down by the water there? There we go. Let's head down there. And of course, we've been watching some elephants eat out here. Elephants, big eaters, going to eat about 300 pounds of food each and every day. Greater flamingo up ahead of us here. Take a look just around this small island. Light pink flamingo. The lightest pink flamingo in the species. Now, greater flamingo, they get their pink coloring from beta-carotene. They get that from the brine shrimp they eat. Grayish ones mixed in are still young ones. They will get pinker as time goes by, but it's going to take about a year. Sometimes just a little bit longer. check it out, some addax moving across the hillside here. It's spelled ADDAX, addax. They're a desert-dwelling antelope. Male's going to weigh about 200, 250 pounds, and as far as experts know, less than 500 left on the planet today in the wild. So if you see them, it's a very rare sight. But up ahead of us here, some white rhinos. Looks like they're making their way across the trail. Now, white rhinos, very, very good story out here in Africa. They were nearly poached to extinction for the horns, but thanks to anti-poaching messages, conservation efforts, they're starting to come back around in sustainable numbers. Looks like they're going to cross over in front of us here. Remember, stay seated back there for us at all times. That's for your safety. They're going to head over toward the left side here, it looks like. And there's another one actually way out to the right. Looks like straggling way behind there. Now, of course, you're seeing white rhinos, not actually white. They're gray. Name comes from the Afrikaans word "wyd," which means wide. It makes reference to their wide mounts. White rhinos, very bad eyesight, though. Makes them an easy and very profitable target for poaching. Bontebok, a little further ahead of us here, small dark brown antelope Bontebok, nearly hunted to extinction during the 19th century. Fortunately, because reserves like this making a comeback, but they're extinct in the wild, Bontebok. The only place you find them now on a protected reserve.
Simba 1, I see you at the junction. I suggest you go west. It will be worth it.
West it is. All right, Wilson, thanks for the tip. We can head toward the Western Trail. So we can follow some of these addax down here. Cheetah, off to the left. Watch them on the hillside. Look deep into the shade. Now, the cheetah, that is the fastest land mammal. They'll achieve a running speed of up to 70 miles an hour, but they're only going to do that for a short period of time. They're also the only large cats that hunt during daytime hours. They also use the sense of sight for hunting, not so much the sense of smell. Now, I don't think Wilson could have actually seen cheetah from the plane. That would have been a little hard to do deep in the shade of the trees. And he said to head over toward the Western Trail. Well, we didn't make it to the Western Trail yet. What we're really looking for is a series of large rocks, and that's going to mark the Western Trail from this end of the reserve. There's that Western Trail up ahead of us here. There's those large rocks. The rock's known as kopies. It's an Afrikaans term that means little head, like a little outcropping coming out of the ground. I know lions do occasionally rest on the ridge out here. We're going to circle around toward the other side. Look on the far side of the ridge coming up there. Let's see if we get a bit closer now. Keep in mind something about lions. They're usually inactive most of the day. Between 18 and 20 hours, they're the only large cat group that hunts collectively in what's called a pride. The lioness, there she is actually over to the right there. She'll do the majority of the hunting for the pride group. Male stays behind, has to protect the lion cubs, and also stays behind to protect all their hunting territory from any other prides of lion that may come along. All up ahead of us here. Look to the left across the trail. Large holes in the ground all over the hillside. Not just holes, they're warthog burrows, and some of the warthogs that made them out here, young ones here too. Now the warthog, the largest burrowing mammal in Africa, they use their snouts to dig the burrows out, then they back inside the way for prey to come along. And you can see those small legs even on Mom over there, but don't be fooled. The charging speed on a warthog coming at you, 35 miles per hour. Now here's some more ostrich eggs. We spotted some a little further back when we saw those white rhino coming through the clearing. Keep your eyes open. There could be ostrich close by through here. Here we go, up ahead. Watch past the trees. Now, despite having wings, of course, ostrich flightless birds, but they're extremely fast runners. Their running speed around 40 miles per hour. Looks like they're not straying too far away from that nest.
There are poachers in the area. Can you help us cut them off?
Oh, not good news there. All right, hold on. I guess we're going to help Wilson go stop some poachers out here, but that means we're going to cut this a bit short. Going to have to take the trail out of here. That's the one down to the right there. If I get you out to the warden post, you might be able to... Oh, that's not good right here. Hang on. Wilson at Simba 1, we're by the crossroad. The gate's been smashed through. We're heading out right here. The south side of the reserve. Hold on.
The poachers are heading east. Keep going, and you drive them to my front lawn. Over.
Roger, heading east. There's geysers out here, too. All right, hang on back there. Yeah, here in Chief. There's a trail over to the woods on the right out there, but we got to try and make it through this trail up here with all these geysers on it. Hang on. Up ahead there, top of the hill. No, Wilson, it's Symbol 1. I can see the poachers camp, but I don't think they're here. I think we're too late for this one.
Oh, not to worry. You dropped them right into my patrol.
Great news, Wilson. Good job. Hang on. I think we're right behind you.
You put the threat, but they don't get far. It's okay that the mother get a front. Thanks to you, they are now both safe.
There's that baby elephant, safe and sound. Good job, Wilson.
I have to go now. We have to get this baby elephant back to his father.
Well, Asante San, everybody. That is how we say thank you in Swahili. Guys, I'm going to stop those poachers and preserving the wildlife here in Africa. Hopefully, from what you've seen and learned, you too can help conserve and preserve the wildlife in your local area as well. Now, this is back to the main trail. That's the good news. It means we're back on course. Unfortunately, though, that poacher activity, well, we had to go off the radar for that one, so we'll have to cut the 2-week trip a little bit short. I'll drop you off at one of these warden posts out here. And from there, it's a short walk out to the Pangani Forest Exploration Trail, or anywhere else that you choose to go in the village of Harambe today. Now, we've got our clearance up ahead of us here. Good time to check those net bags back there, too. Anything you stored down there during the safari and the seats around you as well. The watch your fingers toes on the right. The doors will open up ahead for us here. We part ways here. We'll say Kwaherini. It's a Swahili phrase which translates to go well. So, Kwaherini, everyone. Have a great day here in Harambe. Thanks for touring with us all at Kilimanjaro Safari.